here at Patterson Stadium. Nick Revolt lining up inside the centre square, inside the forward 50, about 25 metres from goal. Underway, St Kilda versus Fremantle. A chance at ground level for Montagna, couldn't take it. Mundy dispossessed. Montagna another attempt eventually. He scrambles it to half forward. Schneider gathers well, kick around the body. Peake going back. Oh, he's got it. That's a wonderful mark from Brett Peake. And a great start for the Saints. He's marked 45 from goal.
Don't underestimate how good that kick was from Adam Schneider. It might look like he just blazed away. He had a little glance over his shoulder. He saw Peake running down, and he's incredibly clever, Adam Schneider. Put it in the right spot. Brett Peake against his old side. Good start. A really good opportunity to kick the first goal here for St Kilda.
So he'll kick from just inside 50. Looks pretty good. And St Kilda draw first blood. Best possible start. Pro Fremantle crowd. Beautiful afternoon. And St Kilda on the board within seconds.
We often talk about that when you're away interstate, that a start in a game is so important. Big crowd. Fremantle are here, haven't had a home game since round 5 on Anzac Day. So if you can take the crowd and the atmosphere and the enthusiasm out of it, all of a sudden it just asks a question of the opposition. I'm sure Ross Lyon, they were really focused on that. We need to at least be in the game. If we can have a lead at quarter time, that belief starts to grow. They've come off a win. We know all the troubles they've had throughout the year, but ideal start there for St Kilda and Ross Lyon.
The Saints have won the last 4 times they've come to this venue. Normally such a challenge for travelling teams. They must come here with great belief, and a start like that only heightens it. And Fremantle haven't had the ball yet. Goddard puts St Kilda forward again. Grover repels. Milne beats him for pace. And it's St Kilda building once more. It's been pretty ragged, but they've got the early result. And they have it at the 50 here, where there'll be a stoppage. And St Kilda will look to try and add to its early advantage. Awful ball there for Broughton.
So from the boundary throw-in, taken by Montagna, back to Jones. Quick kick towards vacant goal square, getting back. Dockers in numbers. Oh, dangerous tap. Oh, brilliant smother though. And Broughton eventually forces it through for a rush behind. An opportunity, a moment. Terry opportunity there for Adam Schneider, but a great smother and a point only to the Saints.
Gee, very nearly another scrounged goal, and tough time for Broughton early. He defended for all he was worth there, and the footy comes back to him, and he kicks to Johnson in front of, or Pavlich in front of Goddard, and so it's Fremantle's footy to try and work with at last to Ballantyne, and his opponent Dempster overcommitted. Ballantyne on the break, hit a half forward, but Fife out in front, didn't hang on. Gilbert to nobody much, goes after his own ball, got himself into trouble. Van Berlo getting it off. Ibbotson, Mzungu squeezing it out. Pavlich again, but St Kilda playing the game it plays so well. The suffocating, scragging game. Mundy for the Dockers, backwards to Ballantyne. Fremantle doing it all the hard way. Ballantyne just in hope, and was lucky to get a result. Fife there, and Duffield as well. Now Broughton, and Fremantle finally get it towards their 50, but they did it the hard way.
Now Ross Lyon would be absolutely wrapped with the initial intensity that St Kilda have brought to the contest here. They really could see that handball from Hayden Ballantyne under pressure. It was because the space was closed down. Every time one of the Dockers got the footy, they were immediately met with some tackle pressure, and we haven't seen that sort of intensity this year from St Kilda.
So from the throw-in, taken by Goddard, and a little high, so a free kick to Goddard. Now Del Santo crossed the ground, a dangerous kick, but it's okay, taken by Stephen.
Del Santo last week played in defence on Brad Green for Melbourne, which was a bit of a surprise, and it looks as though he has got Ryan Crowley following around at the moment, starting in half-back.
St Kilda working to the centre. Fisher off to Ray with a bounce. He runs through the centre of Patterson Stadium, long towards Jones, and drifting back inside the attacking 50. Clint Jones has marked just 30 metres from goal, directly in front.
Great build-up from St Kilda. Stoppage win. Farron Ray broke the line, took a bounce, ran through the corridor, and with the space here at Subiaco, you're always going to get an opportunity one-on-one inside 50.
So Jones from directly in front, no problems there. St Kilda have a couple. So St Kilda 2-1. Fremantle yet to threaten really at all. And a wonderful start for the Saints. And as we look at Farron Ray coming through the midfield, and well, Clint Jones has been able to find space and convert a pretty easy opportunity.
Couple of unlikely first goal scorers for St Kilda, isn't it? Brett Peake and Clint Jones getting on the scoreboard.
St Kilda have got the jump, and Hayden Ballantyne's got a sore shoulder stroke collarbone, receiving a bit of treatment. I think it's just a whack on there. He's coming off feeling some pain and grimacing quite a lot. It looks okay right now, but should be okay. But early concern for Freo.
Griffin winning and winning the ball as it spills, but Gilbert has it covered. St Kilda doing everything right in the early part. That's a good ball too from Gilbert to Goddard. Rapier-like delivery. And St Kilda now work it into the corridor. Montagna. Del Santo to receive on the preferred side, and he's unerring. Schneider, Stephen, the Saints build again. Revolt, awkward half volley. McFarlane covers him. Peake getting it off. Schneider receiving, but under the pump. Ball up.
Mentioned before the first bounce, the change in St Kilda's style. Second in the AFL for Mark's play on. Well, that passage there, that was the way Geelong have played in the past. That was just fanatical play on. Schneider just gave the instinctive handball. Everyone wanting to move the ball on quickly.
Fisher gets it forward, only as far as Duffield, who, oh gee, he's held it a long time. Fisher, Mundy's got him. Stephen, Pavlich the tackle. And eventually the umpire just letting it go, and you'll call for it now. Bounce 45 from St Kilda's goal.
Again, just great intensity around the footy, and Fremantle not shell-shocked, but they suddenly looking at this game saying we've got a side who are really going to serve it up, if they have done early here in the first quarter.
Griffin to Pavlich, well tackled by Peake. Ball under there, not coming out, and the umpire will bounce again 35 metres from St Kilda's goal. 2-1-13. Fremantle yet to really threaten, yet to score, with St Kilda in a wonderful opportunity perhaps to score again. Grover feeds it out lower. Oh gee, did he take them on? Ibbotson just does it well, taking it to the line.
It's great forward pressure, isn't it? We talk about it so much in the modern game about how much you keep the ball in the forward half of your ground. Time spent in the forward half at the moment. St Kilda dominating that and just continue to apply pressure. If it stays down there longer, you can score and the opposition can't.
Sam Fisher, very good steal. Lynch, a bit of a chance. The bounce beat him and Johnson. Oh, it almost did the full curl and finished up back in front of the tall sticks. But wobbled through for a behind, but it's perilous for Fremantle early. Now here's Mzungu pumping it long to a contest. Griffin, oh, good hold of his ground and a very good pair of hands overhead to outpoint McAvoy there. And kick it low and evenly in the main direction. Del Santo, rather Dawson arriving with the spoil, but getting some arm or shoulder, and it's a free kick.
It's a little crude there, Zach Dawson. Free kick to Mundy to Stam. Great mark from Jonathan Griffin. That'll give him some confidence. But Ben McAvoy had to be stronger in the contest. Needed that to come to ground.
Good hands by Fife, marking in front of Del Santo. And too far out to score. So he goes back to Duffield. Now he's caught a play on, not the required distance. He decides to pump it in. At the back, Bradley in from the side. McAvoy, Crowley. Well, he kicked it just inside, but couldn't pull it back far enough. So out on the full free kick for the Saints in the back pocket.
See Ben McAvoy again there, just giving himself a little wrap over the knuckles. He's in great position, exactly where you needed him to be. As he just gets a little more accomplished as a player, those marks will stick and it'll really benefit his side.
Towards Revolt, Del Santo front and centre, scrambles it to the wing, fortuitously lands with Sipos, loops the handball into Stephen, got there eventually. Now Jones providing some run, didn't know where to go, so he goes back to Polo. Now he's undecided. Fisher, not too much on down the ground, so needs to hold back, but that's a wonderful kick because Sipos was able to run forward and make position at half forward. He wheels around, kicks to the goal square. At the back, Peake with another opportunity, couldn't hold on to that one. Mzungu now with an opportunity in the back pocket for the Dockers. Towards Hill and Montagna. Hill did very well, finds the footy at the back. Now from half back, drives towards Main. Well done, got Dawson out of the way, but then proceeded to fall over. So Dawson will arrive first. Main applying the pressure. Main, the Saints just got numbers there. That's why they'll win this contest. Polo to Blake. His kick is a good one, and it finds Lynch on centre wing.
Be good to feel the ball in his hands. Former Haileybury boy gives to Goddard, sweeps it inside to Gwilt, and the Saints have the corridor. Gwilt is a good kick of the ball. He can put it to within about 25 of goal. He's gone wide for Peake to run at it. Johnson with the long arm needed to get it in there and did. Tim Gossage, what have you got for us on the boundary line?
Nat Fyfe has been forced down into the rooms, wringing his left hand after this contest here, and don't know exactly what happened. He came off wringing the left hand. He's now gone for treatment.
Thanks, Tim. Boundary throw in St Kilda. Deep into attack. McAvoy down into the direction of Schneider. Ball's not coming out of there, and a bounce 25 metres from their goal.
Only early stages here of the first quarter, but I feel like I'm watching St Kilda of last year at the moment. They're really well organised. They've got great instruction around the stoppages. When they get the full foot into the corridor, they wait until a good user gets hold of it, like a Fisher or a Goddard. Great start from the Saints.
Schneider with it, now immediately tackled, no prior opportunity. And another bounce. You can just see there the number of players around this stoppage. That's why it's hard to get out. St Kilda pushing numbers forward, try and keep it in their forward 50. Schneider an opportunity. Now a chance for Ballantyne. Back on the ground. Looks to be okay. Kick towards the wing is marked by Bradley. Just backward to right centre wing. Kepler Bradley, what a revelation he's been this year. Main drops a simple mark. Swooped on by Gwilt. And now the Saints away again. Handball was good to Revolt. Revolt 60 from goal. Don't know about that. He gave it to Peake, put him under the pump. He kicks inside, attacking 50. Dockers with the numbers here. Revolt does well. Fremantle should clear, and they do through Johnson, and now Ibbotson as he runs through halfback.
Has time to survey the options and goes for the short one in more ways than one in Ballantyne, who kicks it wide to... it's a free kick that's been paid to De Boer, who breaks, but it's 1-on-2 with both teams with an extra man or two back. Goddard copped it high there. And that's a free kick against Palmer, and umpire Mollison just comes in to make sure things don't heat up on this warm day. Polo inside the 50 for St Kilda. Now Ray, but he'll see a lot of purple jumpers ahead. Back to Polo, the former Tiger. Doesn't quite know where to go. Opts for Del Santo wide on the wing. And he receives, and the Saints now can try and set something up.
This is really the first time that Fremantle have been able to get a bit of a zone going of their own. Prior to this, Saints have been able to mark play on and just waltz through the middle part of the ground.
Switch of play. Goddard finds Gilbert, returning to some of his best last week. Sam Gilbert. Oh, gee, that's an ordinary kick. Revolt can't gather. Lower, held without it. No free kick. Well done by Armitage. That was desperate in amongst four Fremantle Dockers. McAvoy somehow got the handball to Fisher. Scrambles it towards full forward. Here's an opportunity for Sipos. Can he gather? No. He's still got an opportunity. Well tackled by Ibbotson. Tries to paddle it clear, but it's all Fremantle, although well done by Polo. Put the tackle on, but the Dockers are able to get out of trouble with Michael Johnson from halfback. Good kick, Ballantyne. Couldn't take the mark. Gwilt kicks it back to attacking 50, and the mark's taken by Jones. He decides to play on and kick the goal. Clinton Jones, what a goal. So Jones has two in the early going, and a very handy break to the Saints. They lead by 20 points.
Go back to Sean Dempster. He got a really timely fist in disciplined effort. Here it is. Great play. It was Johnson who took the risky kick through the corridor. We know Dempster will play tight on Ballantyne. That created the opportunity. Clint Jones, a couple of goals. What a start from the Saints. Well, an unbelievable start to this game from St Kilda. Now here's Johnson's kick into the corridor. It's a dangerous one. Sean Dempster, that is what he's in the side to do. Play tight on Hayden Ballantyne. A little 1%, got the fist in, created a turnover. Clint Jones kicks his second goal. Are they up and about, St Kilda? Brilliant start from them.
Jones, prior to today, had just 2 goals for the season. He's doubled that already. He had just 23 in 82 games. He's not a goal kicker by any stretch. But the Saints this year are having to start finding some new ways. And they're doing that right here, and they have the Dockers in trouble early. Fyfe injured, off, down in the rooms a little while ago. Fremantle are in trouble. Hill wide to half forward to nobody. Gwilt's been very good. So's Gilbert, and they team pretty well here. In fact, better than that, they team brilliantly. And Gilbert kicks wide for Polo, who's hustled over the line by Mundy.
Mark Harvey's decided that this is too big a run on to allow to continue, so he's dropped a loose back. At the moment, Reece Palmer has that role for Fremantle, but Sam Gilbert's the loose for St Kilda. Now, in the past, the Sam Gilbert that we know at his best, he is not the player that you want to leave loose in defence. So capable back there.
Quick kick from Hill is over, so a boundary throw in.
Nat Fyfe is back, boys. Now he's had his shoulder re-strapped again. He looked like he was certainly holding onto his hand. He's just taken some tablets as well. He's had that left shoulder re-strapped and is now back on the bench.
Thanks, Goss. So from the boundary throw in, chance for Ray. Del Santo jammed it on the boot very quickly. Chance for Schneider. Now Docker's got the numbers here, but Saints work it pretty well. Peake, Jones, and now the dynamic Stephen Milne with a bounce through the congestion. He takes them on. Kick wasn't great. He had a loose player in Sipos, couldn't find the mark, and well done by Ibbotson. Clever kick around the body. Mark's taken by Mzungu.
In fairness to Milne there, it was actually great composure because he had nothing inside the forward 50. He just needed young Sipos to turn and offer him a lead. Sipos was running away, and it was a really hard kick to try and execute. And had it just read the play, they're having another shot at goal, St Kilda.
Mundy very close, but Griffin taking it just above the chalk. Got to say, Fremantle have not looked like kicking a goal. They haven't even been close. The ball clearing the pack there. That might give them a chance, but Crowley couldn't escape Dempster's tackle. Ballantyne, oh, well done, Dempster. Big double effort.
Free kick. Too high.
High tackle.
No.
Holding the ball. Well, the crowd won't like that because the tackle stuck, and a moment later the player and the ball were over the boundary line.
So St Kilda bring it out now. Milne, handball back to Goddard, who's got time at half-back, delivers wide to Schneider, who's made position on centre wing. Schneider, kick in board, play opening up here for the Saints. Ray, although Fremantle get numbers back now. It's a Peake. He drives it deep towards full forward. Lynch at the back now. Free kick, hands in the back.
Against Lee Montagna it is, and it was a pretty obvious push. It was a bit unnecessary because Tom Lynch was going to take the mark. He's in the best position. I love the kick in defence from St Kilda before. Dempster took a risky one to Goddard right at centre half back, and that broke the whole game open. A little unlucky not to be having another shot at goal through Tom Lynch.
Kepler Bradley, Fremantle's biggest goal scorer of the year so far, down the back right now where most of the Dockers are, and that's a poor kick. And Gilbert in front of Crowley takes the mark, has Jones loose in midfield. But again, they're going to have to work their way through a packed defence. Schneider to Fisher. Here's the way to work through the packed defence. The long bomb, but it's just offline. But this is one-way traffic. St Kilda by 21 points. How's the crowd down there, Goss?
Quiet.
Tell you what, they are getting hammered at the moment, Fremantle. Inside 50s, 12 to St Kilda, 2 to Fremantle. They are lucky that it's only 21 points. Complete domination every part of the game at the moment. They just can't get hold of the footy, Fremantle.
And it's so stop-start for Fremantle. We've seen this pretty much for the entire game. De Boer having to go back. Now well done by Revolt. Got a hand in there. Tap back by Blake to Revolt. Now to Stephen. Schneider. Missed tackle by Ballantyne. Off to Stephen. Runs to 45. Brilliant stuff though by Ballantyne. Now Montagna. Standing start. Kicks to the goal square only as far as Duffield. And the Dockers can relieve the pressure. Now here's an opportunity perhaps, but Mzungu's kick was smothered by Fisher and a boundary throw-in. But it's very stop-start for the Dockers, whereas St Kilda in contrast are playing on at all costs.
But how about the 1%ers as well? We just saw Nick Revolt get a fingernail in and turn it over again. That was a smother coming out of defence. Forward 50 tackles at the moment. St Kilda absolutely dominating that part of the ground. Really just throwing it down to Fremantle here.
If it's about fingers, Fremantle are the boy with 10 fingers plugging the holes in the dike.
Oh, what a mark that is.
Terrific effort by Fyfe just behind the wing for the Dockers, and they need someone to provide them with some spark and some belief. They're playing aimless footy.
Look how strong those hands were there, Nathan Fyfe. He just has come off the ground. Tim Gossage mentioned had the shoulder re-strapped. Big pack mark.
Broughton giving it off. Crichton able to run and has McFarlane out of defence in some space. Now this looks vaguely promising. Blake blocked his path well and forced the short kick. Still a chance for the Dockers. De Boer is 40 out and he misses. Needed a conversion there just to get kick-started.
Heard a lot about Nathan Fyfe coming across to the West today. He's had a great start to 2011, his second year. And I'll tell you what, you can take pack marks like that in the role that he plays. You've got a lot going for it.
So Gwilt to himself, and he drives it to half back. Lynch and Ray the targets. Ray does well to gather, and they're away again here, St Kilda. Stephen gets a good shepherd from Armitage. Cuts in board to Milne, playing up the ground. Now handball wasn't great, intended for a revolt. Turnover. Ibbotson can't control it. Blake, Gilbert, revolt, good half volley. Montagna. Fremantle's intensity and their tackling just lifting in the last couple of minutes. They tie it up in centre field.
Ross Lyon at the start of this year, he said, as a side, we're going to try and play more, score more and attack more. And you can see a little irritated with the fact that didn't go inside 50 again, but it's exciting. It's a lot different to the conservative approach they've taken in the past. Milne, they're really trying to break the lines and get through.
St Kilda again winning the clearance. Montagna, Bradley in hard, needed to be careful. He got a bit of Milne, and Milne's slow picking himself up. And eventually a high contact free kick goes St Kilda's way. Perhaps it was there to Milne. It's taken by Stephen, who gives to Goddard. He's well smothered, though, by the oncoming De Boer. Pavlich, who's been quiet on the ricochet. Main stood his ground well with Dawson arriving hard.
Gee, lucky not to get 50 there.
And now Palmer as the Dockers build. And again, there's a bit of hope. It's out in front of Mundy. Classy player. Too far out to go for it. Puts it in front of Duffield, who's got forward. The kick is handy, but again, just near side.
Having a look at Zach Dawson's fist, I reckon it was well played. We knew his intention. You knew that he was never going to get to it, but just enough in the contest. It slowed the Dockers down enough for St Kilda to get back and defend.
So Del Santo to Ray in the back pocket. Some positive signs in the last few minutes for the Dockers. Stephen still inside defensive 50. That's what's ahead of him. No, well, just touched off the boot, so well done by Lower, getting across, fisting it over, boundary throw in half forward for the Dockers. Still plenty of time left in the opening quarter. 19 points, St Kilda's lead, but Dockers, I wouldn't think too far away. Gilbert, third man up. Pavlich trying to put his imprint on the game. And ball eventually spilling out. Crowley attacks it hard. Gilbert does well, finds the handball to Raider Del Santo. Chips towards the wing. Ball to the back. Now a chance for Sipos here. Does well to gather. Does superbly. Put the head down and draws the free kick.
Played it well there, young Sipos. As you said, Chris, he drew the free kick, but he had the awareness. He had a runner coming through an Armitage, so he trapped the footy. It's okay to go to ground, but you need to come up with the footy, and that's what Aaron Sipos did on that occasion. Crowd
not happy, but the free kick certainly there. Johnson looks to have this covered. Might have been front on contact, not paid. Broughton smothered. Johnson back to it. Mzungu having a bit of it. Hill threading it. Broughton again. Grover, brave. Mundy on the burst. Has Hill outside him. Uses him now. Will have to try and straighten to get onto the left. Does it easily and delivers beautifully. Just too strong, though, for Ballantyne. Dawson covers. Del Santo and St Kilda on the rebound and could have Fremantle disorganised. Del Santo looping it for Gilbert.
Totally open inside 50. They've got some one-on-ones. What's Gilbert going to do? He's going to take his time. Revolt.
Gee, I just wonder,
at the moment.
Luke, whether he had turned around. He had 2-on-2 inside the attacking 50. Eventually kicks towards half forward, but no trouble there for the Fremantle defence, fisting it over.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Chris. So I think the way they've got a lead, the way they've really been able to break Fremantle open has been, as we've been talking about, that Fanatic would play on, and it was an opportunity to do it. They weren't revolt. It wasn't Goddard. It wasn't the big guns down there, but you still back your players in one-on-one as a forward. Brett Peake, Sipos, they're not the A-graders, but you still give them a chance to put some pressure on the defence.
Chance for Armitage. Gathers now inside attacking 50, searching for some support. Gets it from Gwilt, who eludes the tackle of Palmer. Gives it to Peake. Now Gwilt being forced outside defensive 50. Van Berlo, that's a great tackle. Should have been penalised, wasn't? But the Dockers get the ball through Lower in any case. Wide to Mains. Got Revolt to contend with. That's a great tackle. Ball spills over. And we'll get a boundary throw in on the outer side wing.
So I thought Nick Revolt was off the ground, but what he'd done was he'd chased Main about 200 metres into defence, and he's such an honest player, Nick Revolt. It was his turn to go and pick up a Fremantle docker, he will just go and take his turn to do it.
And just saw the handball that Gwilt did get out there, so good umpiring.
Good win to St Kilda there at the boundary throw in. Montagna keeps it wide, so a throw in. Still Fremantle goalless with not much more than 2 minutes left of the opening quarter. Very much St Kilda's term, bringing a confident attitude to Patterson Stadium, where they've had a lot of recent success. Griffin and McAvoy, Ray just wrestling his way into a position to get the kick and scoring a behind. And who knows, when Fremantle and St Kilda meet, might be a behind in it at the end. They've had a couple of thrillers, a couple of reasonably controversial ones in the last 5 or 6 years.
So Greg Broughton at fullback for Fremantle. As we so often see, a little kick to himself and then kicks it towards Pavlich, but a turnover. Armitage feeds it back to Montagna. He's dangerous from this spot, from just inside 50. Kicks a wonderful goal. So when it looked like Fremantle were challenging, St Kilda are able to kick goal number 4 and edge out to a 26-point advantage. As we watch it again, gee, that's a great finish. All class from Montagna.
Have a look at this goal once again from Lee Montagna. It is just a sensational finish. I love, he has a little look inside there. Is there anyone on, you know what, I'm capable of taking ownership of this myself, and hammered that home from right on the boundary line. And to me, that is what the scoreline probably should read in terms of the way St Kilda have played. 15 inside, 50s to 5. They've smashed Fremantle on the clearances, deserve a 4-goal lead.
Tellingly, the 4 goals have all come from the midfield. 2 to Jones, 1 to Peake, 1 to Montagna, and that is not like the St Kilda we've come to know over recent years. They've relied so much on their big forwards, particularly Revolt and their little ones in Milne and Schneider. Griffin rucking, no Sandilands, and St Kilda without their, the Dockers rather, without their Hercules. Now, they're desperate for a late goal here. Broughton has a look, contests up ahead. Dawson covers Bradley. At the back, Polo's footy. Gwilt there to help him, and Goddard to help him. Gilbert there too, just dallied with that though. Could have opened the door. Mundy giving it off. Palmer, Pavlich into the 50, and Main needed to hang on. And it's wide, and it's another minor.
I like the role that Brendan Goddard has played in this first quarter. I said before the game last week was a great way to get him back into form. He spent the whole game, here he is taking the fullback kick out in defence. Ross Lyons said, I'm going to put you in the midfield for a start. And he really had an impact on the game. And as the quarter has gone on, he's slotted back across half-back and just able to provide that leadership and that sure head back in defence.
Short kick from Blake finds Polo as we count down to quarter time. Wonderful opening here by St Kilda. 8 scoring shots to 3. Polo drives it long towards the wing. Big pack of players. Revolt up in the pack. Ibbotson almost claimed the mark. Wasn't considered by the umpire, and a bounce the attacking side of left centre wing for Fremantle. So Griffin, McAvoy, late inclusion for Justin Kosicki to do battle. Mundy was able to knock it forward. Bradley high towards half forward, standing underneath at Polo, and he's been paid the mark. Well done by Dean Polo with his second club. After spending time, now there's an injury. There's a right shoulder injury, and this looks to be
Goddard, is it?
Looks like
it is Brendan Goddard, and he's in a lot of pain down there.
And calling for the stretcher.
Oh.
So it looks to be his right shoulder. He copped it from Dawson by the look
might
of
have
it.
been a knee in the face, and maybe he's. Let's have a look at this again. You can just see it was hit to the side of the head, but he was just writhing in pain. You can see his feet just shaking with the pain. So let's hope there's not some sort of facial injury. We won't try and guess. It's not our area, Tim.
Just brings back memories of James Hird on this ground a number of years ago, where he copped an extreme facial injury, and Goddard as you say, convulsing on the ground, as though this might be in the same category.
We know the players have got an enormous pain tolerance, and they really stay down.
He is talking there, so that's certainly a positive sign. But yeah, you can see the head jolting.
That real bony, pointy, hard part of the hip to the cheekbone has made enormous contact. So he's talking to trainers and letting them know how he's feeling, which isn't great at the moment. And then what a disaster this would be for Brendan Goddard for St Kilda, just getting himself back into great form. They've had a sensational start to this game. I was saying how well he played in the midfield and going back across half-back. So let's hope it's just something that he's going to be able to come back on and recover from. But the stretch is straight out. Doesn't look great.
Yes, well, it appeared as though it was the extreme pain rather than the nervous shock or something like that that was causing the legs to convulse as they did. And we hope that it's not an injury so serious as to really threaten Brendan Goddard in any way, but obviously he's not in good shape at the moment. So certainly a hip to the side of the head.
Just the head jolting has obviously caused the issue. So
you see the medical staff always put the neck brace on as a precaution in this situation.
So much been said about Goddard's form, or the absence of it, through the early part of this season, and the great pity of this is that it appeared that it was just starting to come back for him. Had a pretty good day against the Demons last week, and now you'd think he's out of this game. We hope he's not out of too many ahead, but there'd have to be that possibility. Just 16 seconds left on the clock, but obviously everyone having to wait for Goddard to be very carefully treated by those around him before being taken from the ground.
You always think of people's family in this situation back home in Melbourne watching. The great thing we know is that the best possible medical attention available in the country is on hand, and the good news, Brendan Goddard absolutely lucid, talking to the doctor, explaining exactly what had happened. Didn't appear to be knocked out or concussed by it, but obviously in a fair bit of pain. Talking them through at the moment, as you can see.
These procedures managed very precisely these days. This is pre-match in the St Kilda rooms, and it appears that not only the players but the backup staff, the medical staff, the trainers and so on go through their own preparation.
I must admit, I've never seen that before in a rooms. I hope there wasn't some sort of premonition this was going to happen today from the Saints. A little disconcerting to be practicing that while the players are walking around. But as we said, they are the best and most elite medical services you could ever have in AFL football. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else if you are injured. So thoughts with Brendan Goddard, who's an out-and-out champion of the competition. He's had a quiet start to the year, coming back to his all-time best form. They're not mucking around about going through the interchange gates. They're taking him straight down, and you would think that he won't play any further part today, but let's hope it's nothing as serious as it looks at the moment.
And such have been St Kilda's fortunes over these last 6 or 8 months that even when things looked as though they might have been getting onto a more secure footing, such as an outstanding opening quarter here, something of a major...
That's a good sign. Put his thumb up there, Brendan Goddard. So that's a great indication that he's feeling okay as he heads down to the rooms. Forgotten the impact of Lenny Hayes too. I know every side suffers key injuries, but certain players that you just can't afford to. Lenny Hayes and Brendan Goddard are the two of those.
Well, they're the two men who held St Kilda together in that drawn grand final, and both missing right now. Here's Mzungu for the Dockers. Just a handful of seconds left. Griffin a good mark, but I don't think time is going to permit a score as the ball hangs in the air and the siren beats Fremantle's attempt at a late goal. St Kilda's quarter in almost every sense, but the loss of Goddard a major blow. The Saints take in a 25-point lead.
Yeah, phenomenal start to this game by the Saints. Full credit to them. They came out with some great intensity, got the score on the board. A little bit of the gloss taken off with Brendan Goddard injured just on the eve of quarter time.